I don't believe in 401Ks.
Yeah.
Can you talk on that, or should we stay away from that?
No,
Do
we
you
can talk
believe
about
in 401Ks?
Yeah.
You believe in 401Ks.
So, yeah.
Can I tell you why I don't believe in them?
Go for it.
So I don't believe in them. This is what got me away from them when I was reading the book, and they kind of talked on it a little bit, and I started researching a little bit more. And what I learned about 401Ks is the difference between a 401k and a pension, which you guys as parents, everyone that's listening, their parents grew up with pensions where it was a guaranteed money.
Right.
But the 401k was developed by people that like stockbrokers on Wall Street, right? Basically.
To some extent.
To some extent. And what you're doing is you're investing, you're taking this money and you're giving it to an investor to put into like mutual funds. Most of it's mutual fund based, I would.
Almost all of it, yeah.
And the problem with mutual funds is that you don't know, most people don't know what the mutual funds are investing in.
Most people don't know what's in them.
Have no clue what's in them. And 30, 40, 50 years, when you come to retire, if the stock market goes down or something happens, or you just got into bad mutual funds or anything bad happens, there's nothing holding it together. It can crash. And then you're thinking, oh, I've been putting this money in. Because everybody, that's what they do. They calculate, well, I put in $150 a week, and then my boss matches it up to a certain percent, or maybe they said $1,000 a week, whatever. They're putting this money in, they calculate, and they're like, oh, by the time I'm 65, I'll have $1 million in there, and that's my retirement. But the problem is that if something happens in the market, it can all crash, and you could have basically no money in there to retire off of. And that's why I don't like 401ks, because I'm not in control of where that investment goes. You never in the control of where the stock goes, but I like the fact that I came in and sat down with you and I said, hey, I don't like mutual funds for one, and for two, I want to go for broke, and I want to make sure that I'm putting a little more risky one, putting a little more risk on it, but ones that can have a better return.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to stay with it, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to get in other investments that are going to help me almost guarantee that when I'm ready to retire, that they're going to be there when I retire. Because the 401k, I just don't know if it's going to be there when I go to retire.
So I think
that's my thing.
Gotcha. So I think all of that stems from what you're thinking of as a lack of transparency that you have in a 401k to some extent. You don't really know exactly what's going on in there. But here's the argument there. Work with a good, trusted financial advisor. You work with a financial advisor that helps you navigate all of those different pitfalls that you just talked about. So a couple of things about a 401k. Most of the time, if you're adding to a 401k, the employer is matching that to some extent. So if you're not putting any money in, they're basically saying, here's 3% of your check that we are willing to give you. Mm-hmm. And if you're not contributing to the 401k, they're not giving it to you. Mm-hmm. It's just money there that you're just leaving on the table if you're not contributing to your 401k. You can contribute to most 401ks in two different ways. One, on a tax-deferred basis. So someone that has a very high income and needs a tax break can contribute to their 401k. And if they make $100,000 a year and they put $10,000 in that year into their 401k, they're only reporting $90,000, right? So that's a big benefit. Mm-hmm. Or maybe someone's not making as much money, or even at that $100,000 limit, they may want to make Roth contributions to their 401k. So that money is going in after tax, and it's growing tax-free, which is incredibly powerful. So maybe over the course of their life, they put a couple $100,000 into their 401k. It grows to $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. And all of that growth is completely tax-free. You can pull it out, no taxes whatsoever. What an incredibly powerful thing in retirement.
If you donate, not donate, but put money into this 401k out with the money that was already pre-taxed, like from your bank accounts, how do they separate that from the money that you're? Because if it comes out of your paycheck, it comes out before the taxes.
It can come out either way.
So, but how? Like, say if you got your paycheck and you're putting in $100 a week out of your paycheck, and your boss was matching it.
Yeah.
And it comes out before the taxes, so it hasn't been taxed.
Pre-tax, right?
Pre-tax, and you don't get taxed on it till you pull it out.
Right.
So the money that's already been pre-taxed, like say you just been saving up money for a while now in a savings account, and you got 10 grand there, and you're like, I'm going to put this in my 401k.
Yeah.
Just to help let it build up a little more. How do they differentiate?
You actually have to have that come out of your check on an after-tax basis. So you can have it come out on a pre-tax basis, or so you can't just take money from your savings account and put it into your 401k. It has to come out of your check, but you can have it come out of your check on a pre-tax and or a post-tax basis. And they do report all of that in that 401k. So you may have some after-tax dollars and some pre-tax dollars. And so we do rollovers all the time where they send us 2 checks. One goes into the person's Roth IRA, one goes into the person's traditional IRA, because they gave us the Roth portion separate from the pre-tax
is
portion.
a Roth and a traditional IRA, is that a 401k?
So
Is that a style
basically, a
401k?
traditional 401k and a traditional IRA are the same, and a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA are the same. But those 401ks you can have Roth contributions and traditional contributions into one 401k unit.
Why do they call it Roth?
I'm not completely sure, honestly. I'm not sure if that's who.
Rothschilds or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like the last name of the person who came up with the concept of a Roth IRA. And Roth IRAs are huge, man, because I can see that's a lot of money that's never being taxed. And our government is broke, let's face it. And at some point in time, I could see them grandfathered in people who have Roths, but changing the rules on that and saying, no, we've got
to tax you.
We got to have these tax dollars, right?
Yeah.